Alright, man. It's your Glasgow Genuine here. We are new Celtic kit. It's my new Celtic kit, see? Celtic Football Club. My new kit, I bought it during my last trip to Glasgow and Scottish Highlands of Scotland. And your Glasgow Genuine traffic connie. A Celtic man is back. Sorry that it's been too long, but I've just been to I'm back for the brilliant trip to Scotland. I was met at Glasgow now. I've been to Glasgow with my boyfriend, and then we were off to the Scottish Highlands for my birthday, to celebrate my birthday. So we've been at the amazing, that's an amazing, brilliant cruise on Loch Lomond. And I'm just also stand, man. That was a pure brilliant trip to cruise, really. I was recording all the way, but then I was out on the boat trip in the very top of the very front of that boat, and I was just recording that view, man. That view of the mountains, foggy Scottish Highlands, emerging with a wee cavern, with a wee crumbs of grass, wee crumbs of trees. I just love that. A wee village, wee fishing village, these mountains. You should try that. That is cruise at Loch Lomond. We knew planning a trip to Loch Ness, Culloden, and Inverness in November. So I'll be back. So I'm pure buzzing that I'll be back, man. I'll be back in November. So we're planning that. Of course, we drank amounts of whiskey, like hundreds of drams, drams of whiskey, man, in boozers and restaurants. But it was the best time I've ever had in Scotland. At this time in Glasgow, of course, we had my boyfriend in the Highlands. So we were discovering Glasgow as well. We just met with ghosts. We took part in it. We attended a wee trip around some Glasgow's haunted places. And I just learned a couple of stuff as well. The pure funny thing was that I knew a lot of stuff. Before the tour guide even mentioned that something, I just already knew that. So, fuck the history of Glasgow. I was pure amazing. And then I have to let you know that I'm just learning the history of Scotland, Scottish Highlands as well. I'm going to improve my channel as well. There's a history of Scotland, Scottish Highlands. I'm going to tell you some Scottish folk tales, some about Scottish clans and tartans, about my faff clans as well. Some of the other stories. Some teaching you Glasgow Par, continuing to teach you Glasgow Par. Celtic stuff, of course, Celtic FC here in my head. I was coming back. Let's go back to the point. Continue with my trip to Scotland. Last trip to Scotland is just guess what happened? Last time I was at Border Force. I think they're alright with me just now. Because guess what happened? I've gone through hundreds or unpleasant situations with them. That fucking Border Force in Glasgow airport. But guess what happened this time? They just let me through. You see that one of the Border Force officers, she just took my passport and put it on there just to check it. And she said, "That's alright. Have a lovely day." As I said, have a lovely day yourself. I was in shock. I was gobsmacked. Seriously. I was fucking gobsmacked. I was just, oh my god. I was dancing with joy, man. So I hope that this is the end of my troubles at the Glasgow border. So, but still, I'm vigilant. I'll be murder vigilant, I'll be so focused on prepared for everything. So, but that trip was pure amazing, as I mentioned. We were out with my boyfriend. We were out to the Scottish Highlands, a wee weekend in Lochomond and in Balloch. It's 40 minutes for Glasgow by train. And we were off. It was just, can you imagine this? We were off just to see the Scottish Highlands, just the Scottish nature, the lochs, the glens, that magic of Scotland, just at Glasgow's doorstep. You can even imagine that. And what I didn't realise that it is the Culloden battlefield just around the corner of Balloch, next to Balloch, almost just a couple of miles away. But we'll be off there, I suppose, in November. But I had the most brilliant birthday ever in my life. I never forget it, and hope for more brilliant birthdays to come as well. Up there in my beloved Glasgow, up there in my beloved Scotland. I loved it. And with my beloved partner as well. So, you may ask me what I see in Scotland, but the answer is simple. It's fucking simple. So, they so magical. It's so amazing, so beautiful, so bonny. Hundreds of places to discover. Hundreds of just that magic all around you. Mysteries, folktales, stories, ruins of castles, lochs, glens. Glasgow, of course, I want to discover some Scottish Highlands. I want to grasp some history of Scottish Highlands as well. So, I think I managed. And I just started learning Scottish Gaelic, and you should believe that. You should believe me, man. You should believe in that. That year, Glasgow Genuine started to learn Scottish Gaelic. So if I say this Kerma, it means that it's alright. I'm saying good evening to you or good night to you as well. So more stuff after more stuff later on in my next videos. So that I just plus we've been to with my boyfriend. We've been to Glasgow. While in Glasgow, we just booked some book our hotel at the Clyde. Very amazing view at the Clyde. We are view at Stopcourse Crane, my beloved view of Stopcourse Crane. Like glistening the Clyde. I was staring at it every night, man. Every fucking night through. So we've been there 2 nights. So I was staring at the Clyde. I was just that view through the fucking 2 nights as well. But we've been to then pure fantastic, man. Celtic the musical in Pavilion Theatre. What an experience that was. Pure dead brilliant, man. If you're a Celtic fan, you should have joined that. That was pure the brilliant show. Pure the brilliant musical. I'll never forget it. Next time we've just been to our booze for a wee booze, some booze there, some Scottish restaurants, and I tried my beloved. I didn't know that was. I have to just say that that soup was pure delicious. That Cullen skink. I'm going to make it very soon. Cullen skink. I tried the first one. Is that soup Cullen skink a Scottish? It's a Scottish recipe. It's a Scottish soup, so it's made with some haddock, smoked haddock, like some creamy stuff, some the whipped cream. Sour cream, or mashed potatoes, or chopped potatoes, whatever you like. Some leek in it. I just mentioned some spices, some pepper and salt. You can add some milk, a cup of water. It's pure delicious, man. So, we spent. You can visit Adatimorhan. It's for Scottish Gaelic. It means head of the seas. So you can visit that one in Glasgow. So Gibson Street. So now I'm going to tell you about. Maybe there. I just bought myself hundreds of books, more like 12 books. Oh man, or more. I just love it about Glasgow and Glasgow stuff. Glasgow history, Glasgow covered, some places in Scottish Highlands too. Discover you won't miss, and some dark places in Scotland. So I can cover that in my next videos as well. Some dark places in Scotland. You shouldn't miss. And some Places in Scottish Highlands that you shouldn't miss. I can cover in my next video as well. Alright, and Lochs and Legends. Seriously, I've and of course we attended, my partner just attended some Celtic games as well. And we just love Celtic! And we were there were just 2 games. So one's the Scottish one game Celtic we attended was at the Celtic Park, and the one Paradise, and then I was just watching at his place. So but that was unforgettable, that trip to Scottish Highlands as well. And as I mentioned, we are planning to go in November, because I'm back to Glasgow in November. So we're going to visit Loch Ness. We're going to have a wee cruise around Loch Ness, Urga Castle. We're going to visit Urga Castle. I've learned some history classes for that place, about that place. And then we're going to go to the Culloden battlefield. I have to admit that was my idea, because I wanted to see I wanted to see the Culloden battlefield at last, and record a Peter Brown video. I'm sure it'll be brilliant video. That'll be in November, so stay tuned as well. So back to Loch Ness to find a mysterious Nessie Loch Ness monster emerging from Loch Ness waters in its deepest deepest waters. We have to find that Nessie and feed it with shortbread. Leftovers of shortbread. For what? I know, but it's alright. But anyway, that trip was pure amazing as usual, brilliant. And so your Glasgow Genuine is going to continue that stuff as well. Now I'm going to tell you about you know already that I've written my article about the last Celtic match. You know Celtic board is a pish. Celtic board is a pish. Celtic board is a pish. So 3 times pish. Alright, so you know it was on 5th of October last game up Celtic. Do you remember that game of Braga in Europa League? Watching our beloved club away to lose and painful amount of questions about what's happening with Celtic Lions. It's on the board, on the Celtic board. A Celtic board is to fucking blame, or does Brendan Rodgers carry his share of the blame too? The situation at Celtic isn't good. I have to tell you that already. Every one of you, I suppose, knows that situation at Celtic isn't good at all. The board, as usual, I live in a magical bubble. I just found no real ambition to sign top class players and properly back the manager. So, but Rodgers isn't blameless either. He looked embarrassed after a Europa League match, and he persists with the same system that clearly isn't working. He continues to do that. That stubbornness could cost us. Still, I believe in Celtic. I believe in Rodgers too, because he's a master. He's a clever man. I think he would find a way through this. A club that he does, but our club that badly needs improvement, as you know. We need reinforcements in the key areas. Can give me that tactical flexibility if we're going to achieve anything this season. So, come back to paradise. If we win the title, team will show. But coming back to paradise to face Motherwell, the Lions had to win. The performance in Europe was never near good enough. The fans demanded a response. So right for a kick-off, Celtic look sharper, more pressing. That's more intent, more aggression, man. So the hunger to get forward was obvious. So the Champions League points, goals, and above, I believe, the first half wasn't it without its frustrations, but there were positives. The pressing was good. The middle was better. The hoops were creating chances, were blocked. I swear people wasted them, they just keep at it. Defensively, there was an intervention as well. Then at 25th minute came a breakthrough. Our new Nigerian striker stepped buried a penalty. After a mother with a handball man. So it was a good moment for a big man after a disappointment. So how do you ruled against Braga? So of course Celtic don't make things like either way, Motherwell equalised. First half ended 1-1, so it was a draw. Because that tends to a switch off. Continues to be a problem, so a wee bit of credit might just go to Motherwell, but aside from that with intensity and the attention the ground was real. They made it hard for us. The second half carried on the same fashion. Celtic pushed, pressed and created, but nerves frayed again. And as Motherwell scored a penalty for a moment, it was a fair loss now, it happened in my mind. What if we lose this? I pushed away. So that came at a turning point. Nygren, big Swede, scored at 2-2. A mistake between the keeper and the defender was shocking. So that's how we're doing the high press and beat up. Suddenly, Billy surged into team and response. Celtic was desperate for the win, desperate 3 points, steady in the ship. So it's so just a response a big. You can and I mean, the urge midfielder to grab the ball and get it back to the centre spot. I'll give everyone else. I enjoyed watching the footage that he stabs up. So when he acted like a guy still on the pitch. So that celebrated the winner. The injury time we got our moment. Is Maeda, our Japanese samurai, dived in a cross, poor home a header. Paradise erupted. A brilliant, dramatic winner. A reminder that this team is capable when they dig deep. Why Celtic can be just in that way all the fucking time? Why our Celtic Lions can't play that way as the last time? Every time, during every single game. It should be. But man, it should be possible. It should be fucking every time Celtic is capable of just winning stuff, winning all the titles, winning games, playing like real champions of Scotland, the most successful club in Scotland. Because I have a feeling sometimes that our Celtic Lions, they just don't care at all in some of the games, and then they just stand up and then just go for it. They're so they have the power, the hunger to win. Sometimes they're just, oh no, I don't want it, oh I'm not getting, no, away you go. And then after that, they just going for it. They winning stuff. Why we can't be the very same every single game? So frustration is growing around Paradise, around Celtic Park. Everyone blames Celtic board, and they're right. They fucking right, because Celtic board is a pish. I'm going to finish my next article will be about Celtic board doesn't represent my beliefs and values. Why? You should stay tuned and be with you this week. Days like that, when Celtic wins, it reminds you why you believe. The Lions need to build on it, improve and show more of the same in the weeks to come. If we do, we'll retain this title. Fine. What's more troops? I'm going to tell you about, I'm going to do some Glasgow accent reading practice, and I'm going to tell you about I'm going to start telling you about Scottish clans and tartans a wee bit. And then I'm going to show you what I just bought during my trip, this last trip to Glasgow in Scotland, right? So stay tuned. Alright, so some of it is Scottish clans and tartans. So I'm going to start Fig Clan. I'm going to talk about, I'm going to cover 3 or 4 clans during my every video. So I start Fig Clan, my beloved clan. Everyone of you probably, I'm not saying probably, because many of you, my fellow Scotsmen, seen the, oh my god, St. Alexander. So definitely Clan Fraser. So the kilt of Clan Fraser has got that tartan. If you really want to know the pattern, it may differ from clan to clan, the patterns, the colour, that line here. But it looks like that, Clan Fraser. So I'm going to do some history. So this name was brought of Scotland at a knight who was born in Fraser, or lordship in the Fraserier in Anjou. In about 1160, Simon Fraser gave the Church of Caithness at Lothian to the Abbey de Kelso, and Simon being a favoured name of Fraser's. Ever since, his land Keith passed away a granddaughter of the family who became the Earl Smartnet of Scotland. After having adopted Keith and their name after a time, Fraser compensated himself with a castle to Edo and lost me that goes other Ernets. After the war's independence, they moved north and broke in the Highland clan. So those were Fraser's heroic part. Sir Simon Fraser defeated the English of Rosslyn around 1302, and adherent to Wallace was captured, fighting in Robert Bruce. Like Wallace, he was executed with notable cruelty, as usual by the English. As the processes of hanging and quartering made possible, his kinsman Sir Alexander Fraser followed Bannockburn, married King Robert Bruce's sister Mary, and became Chamberlain of Scotland. So in 1375, the grandson Alexander obtained the castle Cairnbilk in the lands of Perrin and Buchan with the hand of Joanna, daughter of Earl of Ross. So the line of the Fraser chief establishment inhabited, as well as a Cairnbilk of this day, surrounded at Aves of Pilorth, founded the Fraser Bar, which is thriving the fishing port, despite the rivalry and the larger port to the south. Fraser Bar may also have been a university town for James VI granted Fraser chief charters around 1592 and 1601 to establish one there. The chiefship was a military supplement and disputed. Another branch of the Frasers sprang from Aldbury Castle, and the supporters of the Bruce. They still are mar in the Castle Fraser. Was completed by Andrew Fraser, so you want it seriously. Shortly before it was created a Lord Fraser around 1633 by Charles I, but the fourth sword in Fraser joined the Jacobites around 1715 and died in fugitive soon after their defeat. So the most famous Cadde branch of the clan was which inherited a Bissett properties in Ross-shire. Here John Bissett had founded a Berbera in around 1200 Lovat Castle, and he died without son in 1158. His eldest daughter carried the Lovat inheritance husband David Graham. You have to remember that was a Fraser clan was a main clan, but there was a clan of Fraser of Lovat as well. So it's MacDonald of Glencoe was a separate clan. So Hugh the First, Fraser of Lovat, Hugh first MacHimmy, also met Bishop Murray, so that's in the British Papers, 11th September 1367, as Dominus de Loveth of Preparatorus Terrarum de Aird. Around 1431, Sir Hugh Fraser of Lovat was sheriff in Inverness at the time. That was Magnet suffering with the punitive policies and James I. He was raised on the peerage. A successor obtained a charter in 1539, which was to have far-reaching consequences for the altered and succession for the heir and line under their male. The issue which it raised could hardly become a matter of dispute in dramatic circumstances. So Brittany's Lord Lovat's only daughters and heirs just when the revolution of 1688 placed William Orange on the throne. So the remote belonged to the powerful house in Atholl, which is more than Marquess of Atholl, and Secretary of State of Scotland. But a native great uncle Thomas Beaufort, and naturally part of the Atholl great rival, Campbell of Argyll. His ninth lord died prematurely, 1696. His eldest daughter, family was offered by the family senior branch of a marriage. So Maxime was a Catholic and disposed of favour of king of the religion, especially when created by him Duke of Fraser, appointed a lieutenant of all the Highlands. So when Prince Charles arrived in 1745, without the promise, Esme tells that bonny Prince Charlie was a bit, if not fully to the full extent, he was half of his head, definitely. And when the Prince Charles, a promised French army, Lovat hesitated to keep that promise support from the Celtics and to maintain his cause with the Jacobites. So in 1747, they are made prisoner, a crippled fugitive of 80. And taken at London display remarkable powers of made at trial before being beheaded in the presence of immense crowds. The Lovatells attained in 1757 the race of Fraser Highlanders and the service of Hanoverian King and the General Simon Fraser. He commanded in the capture of Quebec. By 1803, the line of 7th Lord Lovat was extinct. Now, let me tell you about the clan you're familiar about is MacDonald's. Henderson MacDonald's father is MacDonald's. I'm going to start the alright. I'm going to cover Clan MacDonald during our next video, alright? Because there are MacDonald of Ives MacDonald of Slate, MacDonald of Clanranald, like MacDonald of Glengarry, MacDonald of Glencoe, MacDonald of Kingsborough. So I'm going to cover MacDonald clan in my next video. Now I'm moving on to MacGregor clan. Alright. Alright, so MacGregor clan, look at the pattern here. This is MacGregor clan. As Celtic captain, Clan MacGregor. Right. Let me tell you that. Celtic captain, Clan MacGregor is bearing that name. So you have to know this. MacGregor. The MacGregors are the most famous victims of the expansion of the Clan Campbell's Gaelic in Scotland. All they gain is greatest momentum. The greatest momentum the downfall of Lord Files. The misfortunes of the MacGregors began much earlier. They were neighbours of the MacNabs in the Gaelic War. Ishrigal Mochraim, my blood is royal. Ishrigal Mochraim, my blood is royal. Scottish Gaelic. Contains a claim that assured by royal origins, like the MacNabs, they suffered misfortune during a Scottish War's independence. So, their chief Ian MacGregor of Glenorchy was captured English by the English around 1296, and his property passed through a MacGregor heiress, the clan of Campbell's husband. But MacGregor was perhaps Ian MacGlenorchy's nephew. Seems to be either his clan or a land body sword. So began Clan Gregor's fight for survival. As an independent tribe, and the Campbells had been rival Clan MacGregor chiefs around 1519 and 1552. They attempted to wipe out that true line, but although an illegitimate chief and their 3 sons were killed, a grandson survived by 2 fellow Campbells around 1604. So by then, an entire clan was outlawed when it is made a capital offence. A burning, causing a proscription and battle between MacGregors and Colquhouns, or being a Claffroon in 1603. So by the oppressed minorities in the age of MacGregors were now guilty of depredations of atrocities at extensive scale. So the penal laws against them were lifted briefly. And around 17th century, they were not revoked until 1774. So it's during the interval hunted with dogs like vermin. A direct mate line that chiefs extinguished around 1604. So, and when this office was revived, that bestowed Major General Sir MacGregor, 19th chief that was previously adopted by the Mary. A team that's in rehabilitated ceremonies marking George's 4th around 1822, and was a member of all the appearance there. There's MacGregor presented our credentials against around 1820s. Calling himself his Serene Highness Gregor, Prince Boyce was grandson of Gregor Handsome, was served at Blackwatch soon after his formation. His Serene Highness was also sent British Army, but 1811 he headed of Venezuela, and every year which country colonies in Latin America are proclaiming independence. As you remember, MacGregor Rob Roy film. So my favourite clan is Mackenzie. I even bought myself a tartan skirt and a shawl. We Mackenzie clan pattern. What you have to remember is a Mac. There's a lot of Macs in Scotland, Macs of clans. Macs, right? Mackenzie, MacGregor, MacDonald, McKee, McNab, but you have to remember that Mac is a word derived from Scottish Gaelic. Macht. It's pronounced Macht, and it means son of Kenzie. So when you say Mac or Mackenzie, you say son. Mac means son, so son of Kenzie. MacGregor, a son of Gregor. MacDonald, Macht, son of Donald. The same goes with lassies. So as Mac is derived from Scottish Gaelic neck for preposition neck. So it's necht, lodge, Kenzie. It's necht. It means daughter of Kenzie, daughter of Donald, daughter of Gregor. You know what I mean? It's just that. So my fifth clan, I don't know how that is, probably because of Alvander, but Mackenzie, right? So Mackenzie, the first one. The first clan, Mackenzie. I wasn't saying the pattern. So it'll be great man. Pure dead brilliant here. The first of the clan to stride in the center stage of Highland. So that it was named a sorcerer was named as the. His day was late 15th century, so all less than 2 centuries thereafter. And his signals were to possess territories as great for outer Hebrides, west to Black Evil, east as there Mackenzie. Was one of the someone who made James I 1427. He lived in the murder of James III around 1488. In the interval, he was perhaps the most significant chief of support at Crown against the Lord of the Isles, and then received the titles. His lands was often waived for former ancient inhabitants' highlands. So these lands included Kinnetal, Westeros, and it distinguished Kingdom Mackenzie, distinguished from the Saltwater Inlets. And I think it's a freaking argument, but it's just along of water and just door no Kyle tongue. But also once known as Kintail Mackay, as their son Kenneth cannot continue to work. Because legend dating around 1492, was buried in Beauty Prairie. Comes my effigy, still to be seen. Kenneth's son Lane also escaped from the Flodden around 1513. There was a brown contingent of clansmen by avenged James IV. He again survived and defeated a Pinky around 1547 and left in the after under Mary, Queen of Scots, to her kingdom around 1561. So the grandson remained for Queen Evedic had James VI, but a minority was during the King reign, and Mackenzie's repeated their tactics of joining forces against Gallic neighbours with their spectacular success. The clan's luck turned when the 4th Earl remained throughout James VII's Revolution of 1688, the day in exile. As a time that a traditional Gaelic prophecies attribute to the Brian Seer Clunig Ocher was attributed. The greatest mystery concerning this is that Holmes' most intricate actually the print before they were fulfilled. And there is no history record of the Sears execution that period during which is aimed at supposedly have lived in around 1578. That's issued by the apprehension of Kenneth Orr, the leader of art of magic. The fifth era was attained after that 1750 rebellion. It was when the Mackenzies last on that triumph composed of the Mackenzies last song of triumph. One of it is in the language is called Berfeich, which means dear and dear by the Mackenzies. And diverse ridiculous surrounding plans have fled before it. So Mackenzie, historian of the Highlands of Hebrides in the 18th century, also produced Alexander Mackenzie of Inverness, the pioneer of chronicler of the Highland clearances. Sir George Mackenzie studied agriculture for the Mackenzie province of Ross Cromarty. Cromarty, published around 1813, was followed by manuscript volumes John Mackenzie had memories. When he inspired by nephew Osgood Mackenzie of Inverree, or inspired by nephew Osgood Mackenzie and belonged to National Trust of Scotland. So, troops. Next time I'm going to continue with the clans. So I'm telling you more about clans, Scottish clans and tartans. I'm telling you about. I'm trying to tell you some Scottish folktales as well. My stories. Now are we reading? But before my reading, practicing Glasgow accent with me, say hello to Jamie, the Highland Coo. Oh, Jamie the Highland Coo. I see. Oh, I forgot to mention that I saw Highland Coos for the first time. I saw the Highland Coos. Oh, it's been a brilliant experience. I saw the Highland Coos in Pollock Park. It was my first time in Pollock Park, would you believe it? 12th time in Glasgow and seeing Highland Coos for the first time in real life, man, seriously. So, say hello to pure fluffy Jamie, the Highland Coo. Hello. Oh, hello, it's me. Alright, he's going to join us now. So he's here. Alright, the thing I want to mention to you is that every every Scottish clan got its own crest badge. It was called crest badge. Scottish clan crest badge. And I just got myself a Mackenzie badge crest. Chief of Highlanders clan crest, which is like that. It looks like that. So we are motto Kuchenree, means rescue the king. So I love the clan Mackenzie. I don't know how that is, but I just love it. So I'll tell you about the history of that Scottish clan crest badge. So in ancient times, a chief wearing battle distinguishing badge in his helmet, a device which his followers could recognise in the turmoil of action. This is known as the crest of the chief and appears at the top of his full coat of arms. Anyone bearing the same name as Scottish chief is a clansman, a chief, and a privilege wearing the crest around it. Bastra, Bacco, Garter denote clan allegiance. So the great Scottish clans contained families who bore a different surname or are descended by a chief through female line. They call it septna, just being the one who's the ancestor bearing a sept name. A clans have the privilege wearing a displaying that crest badge, intending that I may legitimately wear the authentic Scottish ancient device. Pure dead brilliant, man. Pure dead brilliant. Alright, a bit of a Glasgow part. Your Glasgow genuine is getting you a wee traffic one's getting a wee reading the now. Just a wee part, right? Probably it'll be like one page. Aye. It'll be that. Yeah. It'll be one page, man. So can I say its eyes? I told my bigger a boy's not almost whisper, so can I? I was brother breathlessly. But it's just a shame of me, but it's not I. The mother spoke it again. So it's back to Bella. It depends on this affair of fat lady. This mean a flitting or a funeral. Bella didn't reply, just been looking up. I just wasn't finding anybody was moving, so it was me aware of Vietnam break something that I moved aware alright at the first glance or to the accent or I'm a date yet. So Bella was neighbouring women in just bad situation. So righteous Ians are in lobby a lot of come on now, everybody, Tom open a windy and that windy is again go. So it's just me at work I can go man. So a quick before a crooked broken birdie shows on over a king belly. Your man wouldn't like that, would he? Oh my god, as a Wendy. Wendy, as a mother, hugging her, brushing herself as a her way, so there's my story. So right away, when his boy with her, Tom ran for his feet, I Wendy. I was first into the lobby, but that was the last month, so it's just about a door. I look back at me, so at first nice, not quickly, right, my wee cocksparrow. You know what today? Away you go then. Away you go, man. The gida, nicest we smell for a shed door, I could have seen. Shush, man. Shush, the new. But I quiet again. So I just been there panicking out of me as that I looked and down and those and right and a picture right enough. Was a job horse windy. I was going to help it. I couldn't help it. Path. So wherever I breathe now, they get off now. Do take a deep breath, man. Deep breath in out. Frame a great soup and it was for open, windy and the fresh air again. Oh, I'm great. So it was got the frost haying and just behind her life, not looking down on all the roofs. It'll blow me in Glasgow. Glasgow can never look that beautiful. Glasgow. He never looked more beautiful. Honest, the goat. It's a bit grown folk. Can't see the place where I see it. It's all I do like a court. Bedspread. But I've been there. Beds are more green than anything. They are surprised. There are parks here of Glasgow's green and grey, bits of black and white. Then there was a light running right in the middle. A tune like a big grey, green, brown snake. It was a great look down on it, I'm telling you. More Glasgow accent practice during my next video. Alright. What I'm going to show you at the very end of my video is that look at that. Look at me in my Mackenzie show. I just put myself out. It's pure dead brilliant, isn't it? It's pure dead brilliant, that show. Pure dead brilliant. And I bought myself a wee tartan Mackenzie. So I'm going to put it at Hogmanay on Christmas Eve as well. Alright. Your Glasgow genuine and Celtic dafty. Traffic kunne. Ja, Highland Q. Fluffy Jamie the Highland Q. I'm going to tell you the now. See you next week. So I'm going to put my videos every Tuesday or Wednesday. So be prepared, stay tuned. My subscribers, my fellow Celtic fans as well. As Robert Burns would say, for us has been known for ages past, freedom and whiskey gang together. So take off your drum and I'll see you after. I'll see you next week. Slanjavar. Kisses.